Kanye could not just only be dropping one new album, so Bully, that we've already talked about, but maybe 2 new albums. That's what we've just learned from one of the main producers or engineers from the Vultures era, and we'll talk about today, plus some other Kanye news, so let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So as we talked about yesterday, and as you might know if you haven't been living under a rock, Kanye is dropping a new album. It's called Bully. He announced this in Haiku, China. Quick recap for everybody that has actually been living under a rock. We've gotten that listening experience in China, Haiku, the second one, with a crazy stage design, a crazy performance with this light beam that is also now the tentative cover, but we still don't know what the cover is actually going to be like. This new album is going to be called Bully, as he announced right there on stage, and it has a new single as well, which is called Beauty and the Beast, which is just a snippet that he played. We also had that Preacher Man single from the Haiku, the first Haiku show. So that's kind of the state we're at right now. So we know there is a new solo album coming, probably a solo album called Bully, and Vultures 3 up to this point then we thought was scrapped because not a lot of people like Vultures 2, and Vultures 1 already received some criticism, Vultures 2 even more. They then tried to fix it. We went through all the ups and downs this whole journey with Kanye and the Vultures era has taken us through, and it all seemed like Kanye actually listened to the criticism that the fans gave him and made the decision to not do Vultures 3, but rather to drop a solo record, maybe to also in a way save his reputation, because the Vultures era wasn't that great on the way the public and even his fans viewed him, because especially Vultures 2 was very surface level, always talking about very superficial things. It was also not that well made musically because they had to fix it in its, almost entirety after the fact. So it all seems like Kanye was actually listening and to the critique and actually taking it to heart. It just might not be the case now anymore, because we'll jump straight into this. Traxtor, one of the main engineers who's worked on stuff from the Vultures era, and he was also involved in fixing Vultures 2. You might know him. He was one of the most, dominant and known producers or engineers that has been working with Kanye over the past year. He just took to Instagram to post something. He posted a selfie of himself, apparently in the studio. Where would he be? And he said in the caption, albums mode. So there's an S after album, which is, kind of referring to the fact that he knows that people think there is only one album, but there's multiple. Why would you otherwise put the S in parentheses after the album? Why would you kind of hint at that? If you were just saying, oh, there's multiple albums I'm working on, you would have just said albums mode. Now it's albums mode. So he knows that Kanye fans are thinking there is an album coming, and he's now saying there's another one, which is really not a good sign, because there's only a couple of possibilities that this could actually play out. For one, he could be working on someone else's album other than Kanye's, which, I don't think that's really what he's referring to. You can also see all of the comments are about Vultures 3 and Bully coming. So, nobody is interpreting this as him working on another album aside from Kanye's. That is also not what I would expect him to do right now. His main job is doing Kanye's music right now. It could also just be referring to the fact that people say album mode just as a way to say that they're in the studio. They're very, focused working on an album. And he's saying albums mode. Still, that's a plural though. So that would mean multiple albums. So, the direct, hint that people took from this was Vultures 3 is actually happening, plus Bully. So both of those albums are still coming. This would also explain why, for example, Ty Dolla $ign in a recent Instagram live that we've also covered, up until the point that we then learned that it wasn't actually coming. Also in an Instagram live from 88 Keys, he said V3 about to rip heads off. And I made a video about this saying that we can probably just forget about about the single album at this point, the solo album. And as you can see in the screenshot right here, Traxxer was also in this Instagram live. He said, "Let's cook up," and Ty Dolla $ign also said tracks, and that was after he said V3 about to rip heads off. So this just means that Ty and Traxxer are for some reason in the know about some of this, and maybe it's miscommunication among Kanye and his producers and Ty. That's sometimes the case. We've had this happen in the past, so that Ty and Traxxer still think Vultures 3 is coming, but Kanye has kind of scrapped it. Or it's actually the case that both of those albums are still coming, or that Vultures 3 is Bully, or that Bully is, coming after Vultures 3. There's only a couple of ways it could play out. They could be dropping at the same time. We could get Bully before Vultures 3 or after Vultures 3. Now, honestly, if you want my opinion on this real quick, I do think we're getting, just looking at this now, also from the Instagram live, as we saw that both of them were in that live as well, only maybe a week ago. It could honestly be the case that Vultures 3 is still coming this year, and Kanye never said that his next album was going to be Bully. He said he's working on a new album, so he might finish the Vultures series and then go on to drop the solo record. It's all still unknown right now. This is just what we've gotten so far. Let me know how y'all interpret this. Maybe some good news or not so good news. We've gotten a new group buy, one that people have been waiting for a pretty long time, for months at this point. We had the first snippet of this song called Love, Love, Love. That is the song that got, group leaked months ago, over half a year ago. And now they actually managed to have this as a group buy. It sounds pretty cool, the version that at least you can find online. It has an amazing beat. The beat is carrying most of this track. Also has a little beat switch, but it's still unsure if it's AI or not. Just wanted to let y'all know that this, kind of leaked, and people are saying, oh, this is going to be for Bully. Which I'm not sure. At least people are connecting it to it right now. So far, the only songs that we've gotten for Bully are Preacher Man and Beauty and the Beast from Kanye himself. But Love, Love has been a grail, and if it ends up on, Bully, even if it was made before the time of this Bully era, obviously, I would still love for it to come out, but group buys sometimes have somewhat of a bitter taste to them as well, so let's just wait and see. So that's mainly it. We might be getting 2 Kanye albums in the near future, at least. That is what Ty Dolla $ign, his very close collaborator, the other half of the Ye and Dolla $ign Vultures duo, and Traxxer, one of the trusted producers that Kanye has been working with over the past year, have been hinting at just yesterday. Traxxer posted this picture a day ago, and I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this, so I wanted to make a video on it, let y'all know. But what I'm most interested in right now is what y'all think about this. Do you think we're getting 2 records? How do you think the whole release schedule would play out? Do you think we're getting Bully before V3? Or do you think he'll conclude the trilogy and then go on to do the solo project? If then so, what songs would make Vultures 3 and which would make Bully? Obviously the solo tracks would make Bully, but what do we have for Vultures 3? It's still a lot of question marks, but we'll try to answer a lot of them as we go along and as we get more info, so make sure you stay subscribed not to miss out on any Kanye news. But until the next one, I definitely want to know what y'all think about this in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.